What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video, another quick take. I got my main man, my partner, my guy.
If you don't know, now you know. The Prince of Fresh Air, the most charismatic man. It's always a pleasure to be on your platform, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. So we've got a situation that I wanted to chime in on because it's been a little while since we've gotten together like this. So we've got an article courtesy of Forbes.com which says Nicki Minaj and others seemingly call out Jay-Z for picking Kendrick Lamar for Super Bowl over Lil Wayne. The article goes on to say that Nicki Minaj and other artists have seemingly called out Jay-Z, who's the co-producer of the Super Bowl halftime show, for selecting Kendrick Lamar as the performer for the next Super Bowl over New Orleans native Lil Wayne, blaming rap feuds as the reason for the supposed snub. It says California rapper Lamar, who had a public feud with rapper Drake earlier this year, was selected as the halftime performer for Super Bowl taking place in New Orleans in February, causing several artists to suggest New Orleans native Lil Wayne should have been picked. Some people blame Jay-Z, who advises the NFL on entertainment, for the alleged snub. The Super Bowl in New Orleans, and they let Lamar perform over Lil Wayne. Jay-Z, a legendary hater for that. Podcaster and internet personality DJ Academic said in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter. During the Monday episode of his podcast, rapper Cameron hinted at a beef between Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, who signed Drake to his record label Young Money Entertainment in 2009 as the reason for Lamar's selection. Lil Wayne had a problem with somebody before who's kind of part of the organization running the Super Bowl. This is payback. Who's Lil Wayne's artist? Drake, Cameron said. It says Jay-Z's long-running feud with the rapper Birdman may have something to do with the decision, according to Nicki Minaj. Jay-Z and Birdman have had a public feud since 2009 also, when Birdman, who signed Lil Wayne to his label in 1998, said Lil Wayne was a better rapper than Jay-Z. This is while Jay-Z and Lil Wayne have exchanged jabs over the years, the pair seemingly made up after Lil Wayne signed on as a co-owner of the New York rapper's music platform Tidal in 2015 before a majority stake was sold to Jack Dorsey's Block in 2022. And it says, lastly, Minaj has her own history with Jay-Z's camp. Earlier this year, amid her beef with Megan Thee Stallion, Minaj publicly called out Desiree Perez, the CEO of Jay-Z's agency Roc Nation, which has a management deal with Megan, with Minaj threatening to expose Perez for allegedly firing people for unknown reasons in an attempt to reportedly replace Minaj at the pinnacle of women's rap with Megan Thee Stallion. So, we rarely ever talk about, music culture on this channel. So let me get your thoughts on, what's going on right now.
Yeah, I saw this blowing up on X, formerly Twitter, and I saw Nicki Minaj and a lot of music artists chiming on this. And I think it is surprising, but I also see some of the standpoints that some of the fans are making. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Lil Wayne, his music. I would definitely, support everything he did in the Super Bowl. But one of the things I'm reading a report from uprocks.com talking about why wasn't Lil Wayne selected to perform at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is a big event. And we all know in this day and age, it's not about the talent, it's about the hype. What Kendrick has done this year with Drake has been record breaking, has broken the internet, has got many people, whether they're entertainment, rap, whatever, talking about this. Even, you got NFL stars chiming in on this. So I think for the Super Bowl, I think for them, it was smart for them to capitalize on the success that he was able to make this year. Ride that high until the Super Bowl, the biggest event of the year, arguably. It makes sense why they do that. Now I understand why some fans would say, why wasn't Lil Wayne selected when they had the Super Bowl in California? You had Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, all the West Coast, rappers and legendary acts up there. And I want to push back on one comment because I do see, people saying that, oh, well, Lil Wayne isn't the star he used to be. Well, I disagree with that. I think that Lil Wayne is not some 50-year-old washed up has been. The dude is still performing. He's still going on tours. He's still out there making, money. And I think that being in his hometown, it just made more sense to have someone that everybody in that city will be rocking to all his music. And let's be clear, most people listen to Lil Wayne or have listened to Lil Wayne. So a Millie, his resume can't be discredited. But I do wonder though, and this is no disrespect. I've seen him in the WWE. I'm gonna take a little heel turn on this. I've seen him at the WWE performing his music, and I just don't know. I There's no discredit to Lil Wayne. I don't know if his act would be Super Bowl worthy because Lil Wayne doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to fly in the air and zip through the set and make it a big extravagant show. The Super Bowl is supposed to be an extravagant show. Look at 50 Cent when he was hanging upside down like a monkey and everybody clowned him on the internet, but it was something that was different. He wasn't just up there rapping. He tried to incorporate some theatrical elements to it. I don't think Kendrick could do that either, but I think because of the popularity he had this year, the Super Bowl thought, hey, this beef that him and Drake had this year was world breaking. It broke the internet. People still talking about it. Let's capitalize on it while it's still hot. And so I do think there is some element to some political stuff that goes behind the scenes. People don't like to agree and acknowledge it, but things do happen behind the scenes that we don't hear about. And we often talk about that with award shows. Anyway, I digress. I do think Lil Wayne should have gotten a nod, but I understand why the Super Bowl was like, let's capitalize on his success this year.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with you, bro. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why I felt like I wanted to talk about this, because I feel like everybody, for the most part, I see everybody feels like Lil Wayne should have performed. And here's my take on it, which is pretty much along the lines of what you said. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, televised events, of the year. Okay. For the most part, everybody is tuning in to the Super Bowl. And nowadays, or I would say really since Michael Jackson, people are tuning into the Super Bowl to see the halftime show. That's really like the highlight. Yes, there are, millions of football fans who are watching for the game, but also you have an additional, freaking, few million people are tuning in just to see their favorite artist or whoever is performing that year. Now, yeah, Lil Wayne is on the Mount Rushmore of rap. I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not going to dispute that he's one of the GOATs. However, it's about the present and the here right now. I don't think every single time the Super Bowl is staged somewhere, they get the hometown artist, whoever's from that town, to perform the Super Bowl. That's not the case. They're getting who makes sense at that particular time. So it's like back in the 90s, it made sense to get the biggest artist of all time to perform at the Super Bowl. And that's actually what created this trend. That's what made it, like a staple in media culture, in sports culture. Now, a Lil Wayne performance at the Super Bowl next year, it's not going to hit the way a Kendrick Lamar performance is going to hit. And I'm going to tell you why. And again, you already said it. Kendrick technically single-handedly took down arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest rapper, I guess we're talking about on paper in terms of statistics and numbers, by himself with 3, 4, 5 diss tracks. I didn't even know how many there were. Okay. And I already know for a fact everybody's going to be tuning in for him to perform Not Like Us. That is a fact. That is a fact. Now, let's say if Kendrick Lamar didn't have the year that he had so far, then yes, by all means, give it to Lil Wayne because it makes sense to get him. But right now, as of right now, September 9th, 2024, as we speak, Kendrick Lamar is hotter than Lil Wayne. This is not 2008. And again, I'm not hating. This is just facts. When was the last time everybody was talking about the new Lil Wayne album? I don't remember having those types of conversations since Carter 3. And how long ago did that come out? Like what, 2008 or some shit? So I personally don't think that it's a conspiracy or it's really that personal, because what they want for the Super Bowl is to get as many viewers as possible. And who is going to rake in the most viewers? Lil Wayne or Kendrick Lamar? Now, okay, like let's say, because this next Super Bowl is not happening until February 2025. But let's say if the Super Bowl is happening next week, who do you think is going to get more views? Who do you think is going to be
Oh,
the talk
Kendrick.
of the town? Kendrick Lamar. It's not going to be Lil Wayne. And again, because honestly, me personally, I would rather see if I had my way, if I had to choose, who am I going to go with? I'm going to go with Kendrick. Why? Because I listen to more Kendrick, music than Lil Wayne. Not to say that Lil Wayne's not great, but right now it's just not your time, bro. And I feel like they're making it worse for themselves by talking so much shit. So it's like, okay, you ask somebody to do something, and they tell you it's not even like they said you're banned from the Super Bowl. They basically, in my opinion, this is just on the outside looking in. This is just my assessment of the situation. They're saying not right now. Yes, we get that it's in Louisiana, but this is not the best business decision we can make. We have to go with this guy because let's say, well, I mean, it probably would have worked out in Lil Wayne's favor, but let's say if Drake won the beef, okay, they would get Drake. They would get Drake. Honestly, if Not Like Us wasn't a thing, like let's say if the whole beef ended with Family Matters, you don't think that people would have been waiting to see Drake perform Family Matters live at the Super Bowl?
Of course.
That's a fact, or at least a snippet or a little medley, because that's probably what it's going to be. Kendrick is going to do, a medley of all his, hits and the songs that people know. And then when he drops Not Like Us, that's what everybody's going to be talking about on the internet. I guarantee you. And already, I think he did like an open concert or a free concert somewhere. It was televised. I didn't watch it because, frankly, I'm not that big a fan of Not Like Us. Like I don't think it's the hottest track ever, and I'm probably not going to watch the Super Bowl. But I could already feel it coming because again, if I'm in charge of the Super Bowl, let's say if I'm Jay-Z or if I'm someone like basically one of the gatekeepers or shot callers, where I have say over who shows up to perform, and I select somebody over you, and then now I'm hearing and seeing that you and your people are talking trash about me in my event, then it's like, what? I was gonna have you perform the following year, but since you're talking so much shit, fuck you. I'm not gonna have you perform no more. I'm not gonna have you perform. So you're not gonna get that moment. So I feel like now they're all, talking themselves out of a Super Bowl performance in the future. And then here's another thing too. As much money as Lil Wayne has, Nicki Minaj has, Master P, and well, I mean, not academics and shit like that, but you get my point. All of these people that are coming out and voicing their, disagreement for the Super Bowl performance selection. Why don't you guys create your own event where you can have that moment? Okay, cool. So they're not going to let you perform. Then why not stage something where Lil Wayne can have that moment? You know how like Drake has OVO Fest, I guess, or he used to have OVO Fest, or how what was that event that Tyler the Creator would have in California? I forgot what it was called. You know what I'm talking about. It
Yeah,
was like a
yeah.
Coachella type thing. I forgot what it was called. It was called something. But basically that's what I'm saying. Like, why limit yourself to just the Super Bowl when you can do it yourself if you want to? That's what I'm saying. If I'm Lil Wayne, if the Super Bowl doesn't select me, who cares? First of all, I'm a multimillionaire. If I want to create my own event and finance my own show, I could easily just do that and make it the best show you could possibly make it. You could get Drake, you can get Nicki Minaj, you can get Master P, you could do a whole Louisiana Fest by yourself. The Super Bowl is not the end all be all of everything. Now, I get it. Yeah, it's like the exposure, and a Super Bowl can almost spark new life into the career of the fading rapper or R&B singer. Because Usher, and I heard, yeah, artists, they don't get paid to perform at the Super Bowl. It's like an invitation. So it's like, yeah,
They
you're not
don't.
getting compensated, but what you're gaining from all that exposure is you can't put a price tag on that. Like everybody was talking about the Usher and Alicia Keys moment. He benefited from that because what did he do after that? He got a Las Vegas residency that mad people came to in 2023. So that's my thing. And I don't want nobody listening to this to be like, oh, you a hater. I'm not a hater. I like Lil Wayne. Again, I would say arguably, yeah, top 5, one of the best rappers of all time. Guaranteed. If there was no Lil Wayne, we would have no Drake. There would be no Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's personal, and not everything is a fucking conspiracy. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I get that. And to play devil's advocate, although what I said about Lil Wayne, I gotta admit, I didn't follow the Drake and Kendrick thing beef. I saw all about it. I never even listened to any of the diss tracks. I know I'm in the minority on
Yeah,
that
man.
point.
That's
But I gotta
crazy.
say, if I had to choose based off music wise, who I would prefer Lil Wayne mostly because I know
Nah,
most of his songs. Now, I'm not
nah.
dissing Kendrick. I know some of his songs, but for a 30-minute show, I don't know if I would know a lot of the songs he would perform. Now,
Who,
granted, like I
Kendrick?
said, Kendrick, yeah. And I say that because, I didn't grow up with Kendrick. I mean, he's not our generation, he's older, but uh, it's one of those things where I feel like Lil Wayne music is more entertaining for me. I grew up listening to that because I had older people in my family, so they grew up listening to Lil Wayne and stuff. But I think from a popularity standpoint, the Super Bowl's a popularity contest. Anything involving major productions is a popularity contest. So they're always going to choose the people who they feel like is going to bring the most eyeballs. And I think, unfortunately, I think it would be a more disservice if Lil Wayne doesn't even show up at all. If they don't bring him at all, then I can understand people's point. Like, all right, this is a big conspiracy. Because there's no way you go to a place like New Orleans and you don't bring out Lil Wayne, who is probably the biggest name to ever come out of that state anyway.
Right.
So I don't think he needed to be a headline and act. I wouldn't be mad if he were. I just think that again, the Super Bowl is a popularity contest. What's gonna drive people to tune in, get those viewership numbers up? How are we gonna get those people who may not watch the Super Bowl tune in? Oh, let's get Kendrick. He just had arguably the biggest beef in the history of hip hop in the last 2 decades. Why
That's
not
a
bring him
fact.
in, get those numbers in, and ultimately, yeah, I think Lil Wayne deserved the nod, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, I mean, but because I thought to myself while you were talking, I was like, oh well, maybe if I was Kendrick and I had love for Wayne, I would probably bring him out because I'm in New Orleans. But with the Drake Lil Wayne affiliation, that's probably not going to happen, especially with all the trash, that they're talking. I just think at the end of the day, it's a business. It's not personal. Yeah, you're gonna feel away. But if I was Jay-Z, or if I had Jay-Z's number and I called him and I told him about this, I'm pretty sure he'd probably be like, yo, it wasn't even that deep. It wasn't even that deep. We just went with the best person for the job as of right now. As of right now. Last year, yeah, sure. Yeah, get Lil Wayne. And then honestly, I am gonna disagree with you because I mean, as far as who I think would provide a more entertaining performance. Because what songs would I really look forward to by Lil Wayne? I'm just saying. And I'm talking about not in terms of like listening to music. Yeah, I don't listen to Lil Wayne in the gym, but I know he has songs that I could listen to. But I wouldn't go to a Lil Wayne concert and feel like I'm entertained. Like I don't think he would really put on a show. It would be very, and I'm not hating, I'm just saying it would be very, standard. The standard for rap. Even the one that they did, what was it, like 2 years ago? And then they had all the guys, crip walking in Dickie suits in unison. And then was it Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg? I think didn't 50 Cent come out? What was 50
50
Cent there?
Cent, Eminem.
He
Yeah,
came out there, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He was there. Like it was cool, but I think it was the production value that comes with performing at the Super Bowl is what elevated that performance. But these aren't really rappers are not like I'm just being honest with you. Rappers don't necessarily give entertaining shows. And I feel like the ones that do are very few and far between. Like I feel like again, maybe somebody like Kanye West, that would be crazy only because of the production value. He's a guy that is going to make sure thematically the performance is going to say something. The staging, the lighting, it's not going to be just a guy pacing back and forth with the microphone. Because that's honestly what I would really expect to see from Lil Wayne. Yeah, they might have some pyrotechnics and some, flashy lights, but I wouldn't be like, yo, man, this is fire. I'm pretty sure with Kendrick, and again, not that I'm really going to be watching or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the superior performance all around because I've seen, what Kendrick has done with past performances and how, just like with Kanye West, thematically, it says something. There's a statement that's being made. It's not just a regular rap. Okay, like honestly, I fuck with Soldier Boy, right? But if you were to give Soulja Boy, you know, a Super Bowl concert, like let's say if they call Soulja Boy, like, yo, Soulja Boy, we want you to perform at the Super Bowl, it wouldn't be like crazy entertaining. I love his music, his older music, but it wouldn't be like, yo, man, yo, that was fire. Like people would say about Prince or Michael Jackson, or who was another great Super Bowl performance? I don't know, because I didn't even watch the Usher one. I don't really watch TV, but do you?
The Usher one was high.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Like, let me like you can give me your retort, but I just want to see the list of artists that performed at the Super Bowl at the Super Bowl halftime shows over the years. Let me just see.
I'll say this, and I think this is one of the criticisms that people are saying about the whole Little Wayne thing is like, don't get me wrong, watching Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, all those legends go on the stage and perform was amazing. But we're talking about a bunch of 50-something-year-old guys who can't, don't really dance, they don't, move like a young dude anymore. So in that sense, why not have someone who's a lot younger than Lil Wayne, who have a lot of hits and has a iconic resume, if you will. And look at, no disrespect to Rihanna. I know some people might come at me for this, but she was pregnant during her Super Bowl performance. So it was very limited in her own thing. And that's why you bring in guests to help bring in the entertainment factor. So Lil Wayne could have went up there. And yeah, he may not have been the Chris Brown of the show, but at least he would have had other artists that he's worked with and, did music with, or just in general, bring them on, would it up that entertainment value? So I definitely get that point. But again, I think one of the things that I saw too was Lil Wayne really hasn't released music in like the last 3-4 years. So what kind of music is he going to bring? Is he going to bring his own classics? So
Lollipop, Amili. Come on, man. Like that's it. That's it. Like maybe some other, like I don't know. I'm not. Hey, I'm just saying it wouldn't be all of that unless like you would have to be honestly like a hardcore fan of rap, or like a diehard Lil Wayne fan to really appreciate a Super Bowl Lil Wayne performance, or just an NPC that you'll just like, anything. I'm not gonna act like just because it's Wayne and he's the goat of rap automatically equates to a fire ass performance. And to be honest with you, I just looked at it. So they had in 2004 they had Janet Jackson. I'm not even gonna mention this next guy's name because I don't fuck with him. Nelly, Kid Rock, Justin Timberlake, and Jessica Simpson. And then before that, and I'm just only mentioning the notables. Then in 1999, they had Gloria Estefan. I don't even really know who that is. Stevie Wonder, and then three nobodies that I don't even know who they are. And then before that, they killed it. I actually got to watch this. I've never seen it. They had Boyz II Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves, the Temptations, Queen Latifah, and then the Grambling State, marching band. So those were like the really good ones. And then Diana Ross in 1996. And yeah, Michael Jackson. And then the I guess the first one was like what, New Kids on the Block? Yeah, I guess so they did it. And then Prince in 2007, we already know that was fire because it started raining when he was performing Purple Rain. So that's one. Then he had Beyonce in 2013, Madonna in 2012, Bruno Mars in 2014, Katy Perry, I don't know who Coldplay is, Lady Gaga, Justin Timberlake, Maroon 5, Shakira, Jennifer Lopez, The Weeknd, and then 2 years ago, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. Then, what's funny? Why did they get Rihanna? I mean, you know what? While she was pregnant, at least. And again, I didn't see it. I didn't. When I tell y'all, like, I don't watch TV. I don't really watch TV. But what I see, and then after that, Usher earlier this year, and then Kendrick Lamar next year. Now, what I notice, all of these entertainers have in common is they're just that. They're entertainers. Okay, they entertain. Like I can't say that Lil Wayne can fall under the category of entertainer. Neither can Kendrick Lamar. But the difference between the two is that Kendrick Lamar has that X factor, which is not like us. And everyone is watching just to see that. Honestly, if I had my way, get Chris Brown. He should
I agree.
That's who they should get for a Super Bowl performance. In fact, it's a crime that they haven't had this dude do it yet because he's an entertainer. And entertainers, I'm talking about all around entertainers, they're a dying breed in the industry now because really, we don't really have a lot of black pop stars anymore. Can you name me one? I don't know any. They haven't had Drake yet. I mean, I feel like they should have had Drake. I mean, honestly, I think again, I'm talking about entertainers, and I think maybe like somebody like Drake to me would probably put on a more entertaining performance than Lil Wayne, and maybe only because I feel like Drake made better music. You know, but I
Oh,
think I'm gonna let you go, but I just think the Super Bowl should be reserved for pop stars. Like again, people who can sing, dance, and rap. Like people, you know what I'm saying? Like triple threats. Because Usher can do it all. Prince could do it all. Rihanna, if she ain't pregnant, she could do it all. And I'm pretty sure she didn't do a bad job, you know, the year that she performed. You know, the Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, I mean, you know, whatever. That was what that was. I feel like the background dancers that they got, you know, kind of filled in, you know, those blanks. But again, like I said earlier, that's what comes with performing at the Super Bowl. The Weeknd, I don't like the Weeknd, so you know, whatever. But you get my point though.
yeah, absolutely. Look, I 100% agree. And as someone who watched the last two Super Bowls, um, I think that yeah, they've I don't know what this whole trend is, and like no disrespect to Usher, but I wasn't clamoring to see him in the Super Bowl. And I think that I don't know what the criteria is, but it seems like they changed the goalposts, right? Because one instance they say they don't, the Super Bowl, people say the Super Bowl doesn't always hire local famous talent from those areas, but then like the last couple Super Bowls, they've had people who's from the area. So I think it is a crime, like you said. I was going to bring this up. How has Chris Brown never performed the Super? Like that is the most guaranteed easiest sellout I can think of. Now, granted, I already know what people want to say. Oh,
Facts.
he's a woman abuser or whatever. So that they're going to shut that down because they don't want to taint their image. But it's a crime that Chris Brown has never performed at the Super Bowl, and I do think ultimately I said this earlier. I do think there's a lot of politics that go behind the scenes because it is a lot of favoritism, who's popular, and I think they based the criteria on that, which is why Rihanna got the nod when she was pregnant, which is crazy to think that you get someone who's on maternity leave to do the Super
Right.
Bowl, but it's because she's a billionaire, she's one of the biggest names of all time, and so it's just an easy slam up dunk for her. So this whole conversation about Lil Wayne not getting a nod. I understand it from the people who's worked with him, who love his music. I do think I am like this is actually what I was going to say too. Early when I was talking about, I watched him in the WWE when he was doing performances, and I love Lil Wayne. I love his music, but he's not a showman, and he's up in his 40s now. So he definitely ain't no showman no more. So I think the argument that some people have for him is that, look, when you had Dr. Dre in the Super Bowl, he brought in other big names who couldn't dance. But you know what? It was such a good show because we all had to live that. We got to live that nostalgia. We got to remember our childhoods. And for other people, their 20s, when they were young and, driving down on Sunset Boulevard, enjoying life and stuff like that. So like I said, the Super Bowl is the biggest show, and it's about popularity. And for them, they usually go with the people they feel like is going to bring eyeballs and make people come and watch the Super Bowl out of any other sporting event that's happening. So like I said, if I don't get to see Lil Wayne at all in the Super Bowl, then I can understand the conspiracy theories. Like how you don't have Lil Wayne in Louisiana. We're not talking about New York. We're not talking about LA. We're not talking about Atlanta. Real big major cities. We're talking about Louisiana, where there's not a lot of big stars from. So it only makes sense to give a local guy like Lil Wayne, who's already famous and established since he was a teenager, that platform to bring energy to his own community. So I guess we'll see what happens. But I do think that if even though Lil Wayne is not the headline, he needs to be involved with the Super Bowl anyway.
Right. But anyway, so what are your thoughts? Please be sure, as always, to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace.